All right, BlaKBoxXRadio and Sell Africa to Africans. This is the collabo for 2025, 2026, 2027. Let me stop. But this is the collabo of all collabos. We definitely, we're just excited to come together and on Mondays, every Monday and every Friday. But today's Tuesday because Arena had an event in Kenya and now he's good. No power. If it's no power, I don't care how much technology we got, brother. If we don't have no power, you need that energy. And so, technology is a beautiful thing and we rely on it, but technology relies on energy. And so without energy, we got nothing. And so yesterday we had to cancel and today we're rescheduling. So, we are a little behind time, but we're here and we're trying to cultivate this space, the space for the diaspora. That's what's important, is introducing and aligning, connecting, and collaborating so the diaspora comes together with continental Africans and we build the ultimate thing is Mother Africa. Is ensure that Africa grows, but it cannot grow unless we all participate. So I'm Queen. I'm a host at BlaKBoxXRadio. We are a multimedia platform illustrating Black excellence. We're based in Baltimore City in the States. And we platform Black people. That's just what we do. We have a Black message. We're unapologetic about being Black. And we talk about our shine and our grind. So it's very important that we have spaces where we can communicate. And so I'm excited today. I'm just so excited to connect with my brother. He's going to introduce himself. My big little brother, Arena. Say hi to the people, brother.
Hey, how's everybody doing? I'm your brother Orina, all the way from the motherland, East Africa, Kenya, the nation's capital, Nairobi. And I'm just a person who loves African people. That's it.
That's enough. that is totally enough. So since we're doing this thing on Monday and Friday, so we start the week and then we close the week. So on Friday, we ended talking about democracy, the biggest farce probably in the world. There's no democracy, especially in America. But we ended talking about democracy. So kind of give us a little background on how we started, and then let's jump in. Let's jump in and talk about democracy.
Well, we were talking about democracy. No, we stopped it at that point after I went crazy on the Congo topic.
Yes,
which is really
so kind of highlight what we talked about. We talked about Congo. What did we talk about on Monday? And then we jump into democracy.
We were talking about the deal, the U.S. brokered deal between DRC and Rwanda, the peace deal. And I was very pissed off. And I'm still pissed off for as long as the deal is valid. For as long as the deal is valid, I'll forever be pissed off. Because we shouldn't have any business asking white people how they can solve African issues. Yeah. So I'm very pissed off. Then we were talking about democracy, and today, Queen, the first thing that I when I was thinking about this episode is Abraham Lincoln's definition of democracy, which is power for the people, by the people, with the people. And then I want to remix it because maybe he was, well, I know why he was saying that, because he was also a puppet, just like every other president is a puppet. I think he meant power by the rich people, for the rich people, with the rich people. or
Yeah, the rich,
power by the wealthy people, for the wealthy
wealthy.
people, with the wealthy people.
Yeah, yeah, and
This is
yeah, and
this is
that he said that for wealthy white men. That's really what it is. Not even including, because when they say people, it's just including himself and his compadres. So for wealthy white men who are subjugators, who are slavers, all of that.
exactly. So that's the definition. But wait. Before I move to democracy, Queen, you have to allow me to comment on when the FBI or whoever, I just saw the highlight now. The Epstein case has been closed.
Mm-hmm.
He committed suicide,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no list. What do you mean there's no list? Come on, why are they
Come on,
playing with us?
they play with you in your face,
The-
right in your
and
face.
and and I think Elon Musk was right when he said, "Yo, Trump is in there,"
Of
and
course, he's
literally a few weeks later, boom, the
close.
FBI says that there's no list. Is it the FBI or the C whatever? They say that there's no list. Come
But
on,
listen,
man, come on.
come on, we're talking about, let's go back historic. See, when you bring up these acronyms, FBI, NCI, wherever they are, BBI, when they break down the Federal Bureau of Investigations, we got to go in and bring up the receipts. The FBI has been in everything that has been contrary to the growth of the African. They've been in space to kill African leaders. They have controlled and gotten rid of every community that's tried in America to try to big up themselves, the Black Panthers. We can go on and on how the FBI is in space with anything that hurts African people. So why would you think, and why do we think that whatever they do makes it's going to help us or be the truth? It's not ever going to be the truth. They are part of, they're another piece of the system, and the system works together to protect itself. So they're going to protect all of these low vibration, mediocre white men. One of them is Trumpy. And that's exactly what you
Actually,
see. Not only is he on
uh,
that list, there's some more of them on that list. But they will drag P. Diddy, Puffy, and listen, I think Puffy put himself in a horrible situation, but they would drag him, and they would try to end his life, take all of his money, and do everything for his sexual deviancy. But then Jeffrey Epstein, or whatever his name is, he can just commit suicide, which I think that was not. I think they executed him because he had too much. It was too much to allow him to either go and go to a grand jury to speak. They didn't want him to open his mouth. So I think he was executed. We only can go by what someone tells us, and I never believe what America tells anybody. Ever.
so so no, it's true. So I've just read here. It's the Justice Department. The U.S. Justice
Them too.
Department has yeah. So the U.S. Justice Department finds no Jeffrey Epstein client list, and he committed suicide. Come on, this is BS. This is
Lie,
BS. And you know what? This is a clear indication that, I mean, we all know Bill Clinton was close to him. We all know Bill Gates was close to him. And by the way, I need everybody to go and watch the interview of Melinda Gates with ABC, if I'm not wrong. A major, a major American news company. That was when she was, the divorce was fresh. I need everybody to go see her facial reaction, her words, her breath patterns when she was asked about Bill Gates and Jeffrey Epstein. And
well,
then
she
you tell me,
married that
yo,
deviant.
and then
Was a deviant.
and then you tell me if there's nothing fishy going on there. So you have Bill Gates, you have Bill Clinton, two Bills, and you have Trump, and
Listen, wealthy white men, they all hang together. So this is before Elon came in, because he would have been right there with them. It's because this is before he was present on the scene, but all wealthy white men are doing this. And unfortunately, it seems like power, what I'm saying is power is married to sexual deviancy. That's sad. That the more powerful and the more money and the more wealthy, the more sexual deviant you are. That it's a sickness, because in all actuality, if you're wealthy and powerful, you shouldn't have to have any. Why are you worrying? Why are you deviant? You get anything you want. It is so. It shows the sickness and how low vibrational they are, and how carnal and sexually reactive they are. And when you're sexually reactive, you are very irrational. So they're irrational, mediocre men. It's just what it is, with money and power. It is what it is. And the Justice Department, that's all that is. They lie.
They think they're untouchable, so that's why they can do whatever. Like, they can do all these things because they think they're untouchable. So you have so you have Bill Gates, you have Bill Clinton, you have Donald Trump, and then Elon Musk says that he's in the list. Then literally a few weeks later, the Justice Department says there is no list. I mean, come on, man.
Not only that, the lady who allowed Jeffrey to do it, brought the girls to him, they obliterated her. The white lady who was rich.
How can you say?
They took everything from her and they silenced her. She's gone. You don't hear nothing about her. This is what they do.
So how can she go down for being Jeffrey Epstein's right hand woman?
Yes.
And you want to tell me there's no list? Come on, man. Come on. And that's what I keep on saying. Like
why are you going after her? You will leave her alone. Let her go. Let her talk. Then they won't. She's gone. That's what they do.
And this segues to what I'm about to say about democracy. The wealthy people run democracy. Whoa. And let me say this, Queen. There are some families or some people who, when they wake up with Bill Gates money, with Elon Musk money, with Mark Zuckerberg money, with Jeff Bezos money, if they wake up and they look at their assets and they're like, oh my God, my net worth is equal to Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, they will drop dead by fainting and by shock. There are the richest people in the world. I mean, they're not Bill Gates, they're not Elon Musk, they're not Jeff Bezos. No. The richest people in the world are people who you don't hear, who you don't hear from.
The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers,
exactly. The Rothschilds, the
Morgans. These are folks that you never hear about. These are the real rich people. What they report is the folks who they put up in front, who may be a billionaire. We're talking about multi, maybe trillionaires. People who are super, super rich that you don't hear about. They are the controllers of everything. And so what we hear about is these uber rich guys who they put in front to take the heat. But they're not the rich guys. Trust me. They're not the power players.
Hey, listen. If I was the wealthiest person in the world, I wouldn't tell you my real net worth. I'd like, what? I'm not telling you my real net worth. Like, I'm not telling you what I'm really worth. And I'm not, first of all, you're not going to know me, first of all, number one. Number two, I'm not going to tell you what I'm really worth. Real wealthy people people don't even know them. But they
they don't talk.
We're watching
boys club. We're watching their children. These deviants run around the billionaire boys clubs who can make the headlines while they actually fuel policy. They finance coups. They do all the things in the background that you don't even hear about, but that you feel. The only things what you feel with rich people is what you feel. You never see them, but you feel it. You feel the ripples. And so Bill
Oh,
Gates and them
yes.
is just people so we're just seeing the Billionaire Boys Club run around the world and make headlines because they control the media also. So that's why we talk about them, because the media is enamored with them. That's just it.
Now, yeah, that's very true. Now, Abraham Lincoln said, democracy is for the people, by the people, with the people. I think he meant by wealthy people, for wealthy people, and with wealthy people. That's what democracy means. Because, look, have you ever asked yourself one thing? Why? And I think so. This is where we left. America, Europe, especially UK, who colonized us, Kenya. They always talk about how Africa should embrace democracy. They even come to Kenya and tell us, you people don't, you should embrace democracy. Democracy is key. Okay. US. No, let's start with UK. UK. How many votes did Charles get? How many votes did Elizabeth get? Victoria. How many votes did they get to become kings and queens? And they are the most powerful people. The royal family, the king, the queen, they're the most powerful people in Britain. How come they've never gotten? How come they've never gotten any amount of vote? I've never heard any. I've never heard. You never hear elections in the royal family. You
Can
never
I ask a question?
Look. Let's go.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Let me ask a question. What's their last name?
Who?
The royal family. What's their last name?
I don't know. I don't care. Nope. I don't care.
Nobody knows. So no one knows how to define their rich, what they own. No one knows how to because no one knows their last name. They only know titles. Land isn't deposited under tax. So no one knows they don't know how deviant they are. They don't know how malicious they've been. The things that they've been a part of, because what's their last name? You can call out the Rothschilds. You can call out the Rockefellers. You can call out Carnegie's. You can call out the Mortons. What's their last name? You don't know.
You don't know.
You don't have a clue who they are. You only have what they craft and put in front of you as if they are better than you, that they have better blood, that when their children are born, they deserve this type of treatment. But who are they? Who are they?
And don't even get me started.
Thank you.
Who are they? Yeah, and don't even get me started on the crown and on the because everything they wear is stolen from Africa. The diamonds in that crown, the diamonds in the king's cane, whatever. Please, it's Tuesday, and today I'm in I know I said I'm fired up, but today I'm not as fired up. I think last episode I went too much, so today I'm going to go very slow today. Okay, I promise. I'm not gonna shout today, Queen. Okay, I'm going to go very, very slow.
Okay.
So let's go to the US. So let's go to the US. I'll go in 2000 and Hillary Clinton in 2016. Both of them won by the popular vote, but they lost by the electoral votes.
What is that?
Wait, hold on. So you're the same people who keep on saying you're the bedrock, you're the foundation of democracy, you're the best example of democracy, the United States of America, but the popular vote doesn't matter. So what do you mean?
The only country that uses the only country in the world that uses the system called electoral college. Trash. Only country. Nobody else does this.
So,
but
and then that's that's very interesting. People always people never stop to think, who are these 500 people, 500 or so people. Who are they? Like, who are they? Who elected them? Who are these delegates? Like, that's something people don't stop and think about that. Who are
They
they?
make them from, well, they're people who represent the state. So wherever the state popular vote is, they vote with, so say the popular vote in the state is for a Democrat, then those two delegates that they make for each state. So say California might have 10 because it's a huge state. So if the whole state votes Republican, those delegates will vote Republican, even though the majority of the state is Democrat. The most ridiculous foolishness I've ever heard. So when I tell people time, the liberation of African people is not in voting because it's a system of subjugation.
So wait. So what are their names? How are they appointed?
They're appointed from like the representatives, like your represent, like we have representatives, we have state, so they have whatever they are voting, whatever the state votes. So if the state majority votes Republican, their job is to vote Republican.
Yeah.
The majority,
Okay.
yeah. So they're legislators. That's all they are.
So who decides that, California has 10, Nevada has 20, this one has 15? Who decides that?
These people who we call legislators and senators, they decide that. That's why they call and governors, they decide that. So the political structure decides how many by their census. So you have a census, and the census tells you, it's supposed to tell you exactly who's in the state and how big the state is and the voting power of the state. Then they break it down into sections, counties, and then voting blocks. But that's all done by the Senate and I guess the House of Representatives. I'm not really a politics girl, but I know that is done by senators.
Does that sound fair? Does that sound like it's something that makes sense?
America isn't fair. That's why they call it gerrymandering, because Republicans, they get in and they change the maps from the census tracts. So they look at the census tracts and they see, well, this is a county that has a lot of blacks and a lot of Hispanics, so they cut it in half. So that, and then make that a voting block so they can break up and control the vote. And that's called gerrymandering. So nothing's fair in America. Trust me, it's all derived to keep control and power. That's what I think. And that's just my opinion. So I don't really know the actual breakdown, but I know it's all trash.
It sounds like a bunch of BS.
It's a system. Yeah, they control
it's a racket, it's a scam, and it doesn't sound fair at all, and it doesn't sound like democracy at all.
No.
So these are the same people who come and lecture us about democracy.
Yeah.
Please. So let me say this. United States of America.
And say that and also say you're corrupt. Don't forget that part. You need democracy because you're corrupt. They're not corrupt. The system I just told you, that's not corruption. Yours is corrupt. This is what they do.
The United States of America, Europe, don't lecture us on how we should run our democracy. The UK doesn't have democracy. There's no votes to decide who becomes king and who becomes queen. In the US, there's the electoral college, which is so messed up. So the popular vote doesn't matter. So wait. What is democracy if the popular vote doesn't matter? And you're the same people who come to Kenya or to Uganda or to South Africa or to whatever and to tell us that we should embrace democracy and we're doing democracy wrong. Shame on you. You stay there with your democracy. And don't lecture us on how we should run our continent, because we don't lecture you on how to run, your countries and your continents. You stay there with North America. You stay there with Europe. Let's find our path here in Africa. I mean, look. Now let me move to Africa. This is something that I really, really want to say, because
I looked up
African
electoral
elections.
college.
Yeah.
I looked
Okay,
up
go on.
electoral college. Yeah, let me read what it says. And of course, again, this is their thought of what it is. But it says electoral college is a body whose task is to elect a candidate to a particular office. It is mostly used in political context for a constitutional body that appoints the head of state. So that's what they have. And this is Wikipedia. So this is Wikipedia's thought of what the electoral college is. It's a body whose task is to elect a candidate to a particular office. It is mostly used in a political context for a constitutional body that appoints the head of state or government, and sometimes the upper parliamentary chamber in a democracy. Its members, called electors, are either elected by the people for this purpose, making the whole process an indirect election, or by certain sub-regional entities or social organizations. So I hear very ambiguous definition where you really can't understand. It's neutral. It does not. It's nonsensical, but it makes sense to them because they can control you with this jargon, just trash words, a bunch of words. A body that appoints. How can you appoint anything without people? Who's appointing
My
them?
thing is, but my thing is, what are their names? What are these delegates' names? Who are they? Where do they live? What do they do? Where do they go to school? What are the area of what are the areas of expertise? Who are these people? Who are the determinants of the?
They're elected. Whoever we elect become those delegates. We're electing
Exactly.
these
So
folks.
those delegates, who are they? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, who we elect. So we elect, say in Maryland, we elect 2 senators, 6 delegates, all of them. They are the folks who are part of the electoral college. And then the U.S. gives, like Maryland has 2 delegates. Say DC doesn't have a voice. So DC has no delegates because it's a district. So every state gets an amount of electors from population. California is huge. I think Texas has the most because it's the biggest.
Okay, so my thing is, who are these delegates? Who are these who are these electors, whatever they're called? Who are they?
Every state whoever we're electing in the state becomes the electors. They're not. They're not. Whoever we're electing, they are the electors. They are certain. So I guess the Senate. I'm not sure. They pick who actually says yay and nay on the day before we elect the president. You see them all say yay.
Oh,
though. Yes,
okay.
It comes.
Oh,
yeah. So we're electing these people.
So
they make electors. Huh?
Oh, so they pick people who vote yay or nay during okay. So who are these people who say yay or nay? Who are they?
Remember January 6th? They wanted to stop confirming the new president, which would have been Biden.
Yeah.
So go through the House, each one of those legislators, they are, and then the vice president signs off. That's how Biden becomes president, right? They wanted to stop that. So these are the same people we elected. They're not anonymous people. So all of the people who are in the U.S., not parliament, or government, or whatever they call it, down in D.C., were the people who certify the election. Certifying an election is within D.C. And so the people we elected are the electors. They're not anonymous. We've already elected them. They're our senators and our and our delegates on the Capitol. The other folks go yay and nay. That's why on January 6th, they went and stormed the Capitol to stop that process, because it's just our elected officials are the electors, from what I know. That's why they went in and stormed the Capitol to try to keep Trump as president. You understand what I'm saying?
in short, it's all a mess. You know, it's all a mess. And that's not democracy, because if you know, real democracy is popular vote. That's it. So
That's it.
there's no way you can tell me that America is a bedrock and the best example of democracy, yet the popular vote doesn't matter. It doesn't make sense. And it's because of that that I say the United States of America and Europe, in short, any non-African shouldn't tell us how to run our democracy, should tell us to run our countries, because you people don't have democracy. America doesn't have a democracy. I don't care what anybody says. UK doesn't have a democracy. So how can you tell me about democracy, yet the US doesn't have democracy and the UK doesn't have democracy? Please, come on. Anyway, I'd like to switch to Africa. Now, for a very long time, African politicians have been lying to us for a very long time. They have been using, like they've been weaponizing like African politicians have just been using us over the years. And when they enter into office, they steal, and they do nothing about the community. And they do nothing about the country. So because of this,
can I ask a question? Do we need politics? Do we need this process of politics that we have? Do we actually need that? Because when I look at what you're saying,
I'm heading
same
there.
things happen. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm heading there. So my point is this. Actually, that's a very good question, because that's where I was heading. You find that Traore, he entered into power through a coup. And look at Burkina Faso now. Thomas Sankara, the same thing. And look at Burkina Faso back then when he was in charge.
Yep.
You know, so you look at these leaders who we praise every day, a lot of them, or some of them, they didn't enter into power through democracy. So what does that have to say about democracy? What does that have to say about democracy? Now, I'm not saying democracy is bad, but I'm saying that the way we are going about this democracy thing in Africa is bad, and is just futile. Here's how, and I said this last year during the mass protests, and I'm going to reiterate it again. And this is a method that can apply both here in Africa and also in America, and just anywhere where Black people are. Black people. Now, let me start with Africa. The African youth, if they're serious about change, if we're serious about change, us as the African youth, we need to form a African youth voting bloc. Not a political party, not a political party, a youth voting bloc. Right now, in Africa, 70% of African population is under 30, and it's always growing.
Yep.
Maybe even in 5 years it can be 80%. Who knows?
It's the most viral population in the world. Absolutely.
African youth is the youngest. Like African youth are more in this population than people older than 30. So here's what I'm suggesting: we form a youth organized voting bloc, not a political party. In this voting bloc, we all want change. We all want good leadership. We all want the end of neocolonialism. We all want, we all want to transform Africa. So what do? We vet every candidate who is vying for any seat. I don't care if it's the governor's seat, senator's seat, president's seat. We vet them. We say, come here. Because, when we organize the voting bloc, and if we're the majority of the voting population, you have the politicians by the balls. You have them by the balls. They have no alternative but to come to you.
But to listen.
And say, okay, and say, okay, what do you young people want? What do you young people want? Then that's when we tell them we want A, B, C, D. We tell them we want all these things. We put them, we put it in a memorandum of understanding. We put it in a memorandum of understanding, an MOU. These politicians have to sign this MOU to say that if you don't do A, B, C, D within half of your term, not full, half, within 2.5 years or 2 years, if you don't do this, you're out. That's it. Or if you don't do this, we're not re-electing you. That's how you get their attention. That's how you get their attention, by organizing the youth vote. When they realize that, if I don't get the youth vote, I will lose the election. That's when they'll come to you. They'll be like, okay, what do you want? Let me sign this MOU, and I'll try my best to make sure that I heed by this MOU. That's the only way we will make democracy work for Africans. There's no other way. Queen, there's no other way. And in this voting bloc, it's not just the youth. It's anybody siding with the youth as well. We form a voting bloc. We say, do we want change in Kenya? Yes. Do we want change in Uganda? Yes. Okay, let's form this voting bloc. Fine. Elections are coming. Good. You, what's your name? What are you vying for? You're vying for president. Okay. Sit down with us. This is what we want. We don't care about what you want, because you don't have you don't have ideas. Or maybe if you have ideas, let's see your ideas. And then let's see if it's good or bad, or how we can straighten, because at the end of the day, we are your bosses. Come sit with us, sign this MOU saying that you will do A, B, C, D in your administration. Sign it. And if you don't heed by the MOU by 2.5 years, you're out. You're out. We put another person who can do the work. That's how democracy can work. And I said this last year when the youth was riled up, when the Kenyan youth was in the streets. I was also in the streets. When I said this, I said, guys, look, we shouldn't go for political parties. We shouldn't form youth political parties. No, let's form voting blocks. Actually, let's form one youth voting bloc. These politicians, whoever they are, young or old, male or female, they will to us because we have them by the balls. We didn't do it. Young people, they proceeded to form political parties. This one formed a political party. That one formed. So the youth is now fragmented because this youth has this political party. This other youth has this political. So people, and that's the problem with political parties, because political parties push personalities, but a voting bloc pushes ideas. That's the difference. I'm sick and tired of pushing personalities. And that's why Africa is where it is right now, because we are so obsessed with personalities. I'm so sick and tired with personalities. Personalities is the reason why Africa is where it is right now, because we end up choosing useless leaders who end up doing nothing but stealing and killing us. I'm so sick and tired of them. To hell with political parties. Youth, let's form a youth voting bloc. And it can be Pan-African. We can have a Pan-African youth voting bloc, and we can have the Kenyan branch, we can have the Ugandan branch, we can have the South African branch, we can have the Ethiopian branch, whatever. Let's form this voting bloc and let's sign this MOU with these politicians, whoever they are, young or old, whoever they are. Let's give them our manifesto, and our manifesto is in the MOU. And let's say that if we don't heed to this MOU, which has the manifesto, if you don't do this by, if you don't do this in 2.5 years, you're gone. We put another guy who can do the work. Simple. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying. And Queen, I think because I know we are not here for a while. I saw the president of Cameroon, Paul Biya, who's the oldest president, at 92 years old. What are you doing running a country at 92 years old?
That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Museveni, what are you doing? What are you doing staying in power for 30 plus years in Uganda? Surely.
Wrong. Bad.
President Obiang of Equatorial Guinea. What are you doing? 40 plus years in power. What are you doing there? And that's the problem with African leadership. They don't want to, some old people don't want to hand over power. That's how power hungry we are.
And or hand it over to want to move it to their family, their son, or they want to keep a hold of that control. It's I don't know what that is. It sounds to me like it, but it's not only African leaders, it's leaders, and who they don't want to leave. I don't know what that is. I've never tried to leave a country. They don't want to leave. I don't get it. Maybe it's so nice and so good to control everything. They don't want to leave it. They don't want to give it up.
Power, you mean power is that sweet to a point whereby you cling on it?
Yeah.
At 92 years old, you can't reason well. You're mildly, if not fully senile. What are you doing running a country when you're senile? When people have to help you walk. People have to help you walk and you're running up. Come on, man. Come on. Paul Biya, it's time for you to go. President Obiang, it's time for you to go. Museveni, please, my neighbor, it's time for you to go. Surely. You people are old. It's time for you to hand over. Like, what are you going to... sometimes I wonder, what are they scared of? Like, what are they scared of if they don't have power? Like, what are they scared of?
Loss of control. It's control. It is weak-minded people that needs that type of control. It's control. Come on, that's what it is.
Are you going to die? Are you going to die if you're not president?
I don't know.
But are you going to die if you're not president? The problem with us Africans is that we always think that presidency is the end-all be-all of everything, and that if you don't become president, or if you cease to become president, something major is going to happen. No, you're just going to go, and we're going to have another one, and that other one is going to go, and we'll have another one. I mean, listen, I don't care what it is. You're not going to die if you're not president. Paul Biya, go home. Museveni, go home. President Obiang of Equatorial Guinea, and I know there are some others that I can't think about. Guys, go home. Go home. We are sick of you.
Where's Museveni? Where's that one? Where's he the president?
Oh, Museveni is my neighbor, Uganda.
Uganda? Yeah. Oh, Uganda. Okay, yeah. Been there too long.
Please, just go. You have no business running countries in your 80s and 90s. Come on, go. Please. It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
You over there. And let me tell you, I bet some of them don't even run the country. It's probably the vice president or someone from their family running the country.
Yeah.
Some of them. I'm just giving a wild guess. So please, guys, please. So Queen, that's all I have to say about this. We need to form let me just close by saying, Queen, like, you want to close, you want to say something? Say something.
I'm just listening to you. I live in a country where there are term limits, but then we get these the Trumps who they skip a term and they come back, and then they want to probably hit it again, because there's a sweetness, there's a money grab, there's a access in being a president of a country that has to be the most I don't know, it's almost like a magnet to metal. It got to have it. You look at Trump, he was rich, he was well known in this country, he was almost like a business star. The celebrities embraced him, but he had to get to this power of presidency. So it's not about money, it's the power, it's the control, it's the access to more money and the access. So that's what I see. So when I look at that, you have Obama, he's moved away, but he got very rich in office. Let's not negate that these guys get rich when they're there. So there's something sweet about being president, other than control. It's money, it's power, it's access forever. I'm sure it's a Rolodex that you have world leaders all over the world that you can access. So it's something about that. You look at the cabinet that Trump has compiled. They're all rich men. They're all billionaires. Why do you want to be the head of education? Why do you want to be the head of FEMA? Why do you want to be the head of HUD? A rich billionaire. You want to sit in a governmental structure within governmental rules and be there daily and be a part of running a country. Why? There's something in it. There's control. It's something other than control. It's money. It's a money grab. It's the ability to take and ability to do things that some of us can't conjure because we've never been in that space. And so that's what I see. And when you look at Africa, where they don't have these systems that America has put in place, that's really is corrupted. Also, that they go a step further. They don't ever leave office because it's sweet. Most of the folks who are leaving or are leaving involuntary, they are either cool, or the people have come out and they cannot get any, they cannot do it anymore. The people say enough of you and you don't have a choice. So what you're seeing is people have to be pushed out of power, that you cannot walk away. And there's something there that me and you can never kind of conjure. I don't ever want to run a country. I don't want to have everyone's lives in my hands. I'm not that arrogant. Or I can say to myself that I would never know what everyone needs. I would try to do my best, but that's not something I want to do. But I see that it is a power control thing that men gravitate to. And women are gravitating more now, but men, it is something egotistically in the DNA. I don't know what it is, but it's a problem. That's what I will say. It's a problem. I see it here. You look at some of these mayors, they would run forever if they could. They would stay in office forever. They had to put in, why do you need a term limit? Why can't you say to yourself, I've had enough. Now let me help somebody else be a part of it. They had to stop people from running and put them out of office. So there's something there, brother. And we have no way of knowing what it is unless you get into politics. I'd rather not.
Well, anyway, I think my last word. Today we're not here for a while, guys. Today we're just here for a short time.
Because we come in because we canceled yesterday on something that we didn't mean, and so we want to come in and just kind of touch bases today. But yeah, we're not here long. So yeah, put your final sentences on it. You was powerful. Give them some power, bruh. They come for the power.
Yeah, of course. Now, let me just say this. I think this is the last word. My last word is this: Paul Biya of Cameroon, President Obiang of Equatorial Guinea, and my neighbor President Museveni from Uganda. Please retire. retire, go home. Go home. Go home. Go home. There's no business of you running countries in your 80s and 90s. Please go home. Go home. Hand over to younger people who can continue with the work. It's embarrassing. What are you trying to show? What example are you trying to show? Clinging onto power in your 80s and 90s. And some of these old presidents, I assure you, some of them, if I can take a wild guess, I can tell you that some of them don't even run the countries because they are mentally incapable. Some of them, if I can take a wild guess, some of them are their sons, their daughters, or the vice president, or some of the, like, those are the ones who are running some of their countries. So please go home. There's nothing you're doing in the office. So, and also, you know what? This isn't just this is an African American problem as well. Maxine Waters, go home. All these old congressmen and congresswomen, all these old congressmen and congresswomen. I know Maxine Waters because I watch the news all over. Maxine Waters and all the other old 70, 80, 90-year-old congressmen and congresswomen, go home. Go home. There's nothing you're doing in the office, man. Go home. You're old. Go retire. It's embarrassing. Am I wrong, Queen? Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying that they should give up leadership roles, and if they consult because they have wisdom, and they can bring in but we need to cultivate. We have to cultivate leaders. No one lives forever. No one has cognitive abilities forever. No one can handle the pressure forever. So cultivate younger people, and then you can stay in and consult, and they can call you, but you don't have to be in space. We got to know how to walk away and give it to someone else. So I'm not saying you're wrong, because they do need to, you're saying go home and get out the way. But if they can come in and have a meeting or two once in a while, and and a person that has the ability to access them and ask questions, that's what we need. Let's cultivate a system of leaders at every stage. So when one walks away, we still have the same policies. We still have the same things going on that moves us forward.
There's some old people who I don't want them to consult the new young people. Not all. Some of you people have ruined society. No, it's true. Some of you old leaders, not all, but some of you, if not most, have ruined the society, have ruined the Black community, have ruined Africa. So I just want you to go home and let us drive this. Some of you. Now, a few of you, we will need your wisdom. A few of you, we will need your wisdom. Fine. But some of you, we don't even want to see your faces. You've ruined Africa. You've ruined the Black community. Just go home and let's run this, because you failed. Some of you. But a few of you will need your wisdom, and we'll need we'll need your wisdom. Yeah, I understand. But some of you guys, go. Just go. Yeah. And then I want to say this again and again and again. Point number 2, my closing statement number 2. US, UK, don't judge the democracy of Africa. Don't judge Burkina Faso because Traore, no. Don't, in short, you can't tell us how to run our democracy because you people don't have real democracy. America doesn't have real democracy. UK doesn't have real democracy. The royal family is not elected by the people. So don't tell me about democracy in Kenya. Don't tell me about democracy in Uganda. Don't tell me democracy about South Africa. And don't tell me nothing about African democracy, because you people don't have real democracy. So don't tell me nothing about that. I'm sick and tired of this. And you know what, Queen? When we had elections, some of our elections have been supervised by white people. Do you know that? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. some of African, if not a lot of African elections are being supervised by the UN, by some white people. What? Who are you to supervise my election? You don't see any African, listen, you don't see any African leader or any African diplomat going to supervise US election or going to, to supervise Canada or whichever white country election. So why are you coming to Africa and to supervise our election? Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are?
Tell him, brother. Let's go. That's the
let me tell you a story. Let me tell you a story. When we had our post-election violence, which is the worst atrocity that has ever happened in Kenya, I think that's the worst atrocity that has ever happened in Kenya. Thousands of people died, millions of people displaced because of these stupid politicians. And look, I want to say this again for any African or even African American who's listening to me: never put your life on the line for these stupid, useless black leaders. Don't, because don't you ever say that I'm fighting for. Don't say that I'm fighting for Ruto. Don't say that I'm fighting for Cyril Ramaphosa. Don't say that I'm fighting for Kagame or for whoever. Don't put your life on the line for these useless African leaders. Don't, because at the end of the day, they're sitting down and drinking tea or whiskey and they're just laughing. Their wives go to the same, club. They, these politicians go golfing. The kids go to the same school. Why are you beefing? Thinking that they hate each other in real life. You think that they hate each other in real life, but they are very good friends. So guys, never put your life on the line for politicians. So let me go back to my story. In 2007 and 2008, we had our post-election violence. Thousands of people died, millions displaced. We were at a point whereby we can't solve our issues. Typical Africans. Whereby it's just like, the Congo, Rwanda, whereby we can't solve our own issues. We have to bring in white people. So you know what happened, Queen? We brought in a white old boy called Kriegler from South Africa to come and audit what really happened during the rigged, failed election.
Wow.
Imagine. And that's what I keep on saying. I'm sick and tired of these white people.
That's learned behavior. No. We defer to something that has been marketed as almost our savior. It's unfortunate. I think sometimes we do it and don't even know we're doing it. Now, these leaders are doing it because they want to get a foothold or get a grab. All of this, I think a lot of this movement is personal. You bring this guy in, he makes money, we make money together. It's all about money. I don't think anything is about people or elections ever. It's all money.
It's not. It's all money. It's all money. And the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the whoever, those are the ones who pick presidents so that they can run their agendas.
Yes.
If you want to know, want to know who runs America, just ask yourself, how did the Federal Reserve get formed?
The IMF, baby.
Go look at the history of the Federal Reserve. Go look at the history of the Federal Reserve and how it was formed. Then now you know who owns America.
The meeting.
And it's the wealthy people. It's the wealthy people who, when they wake up and they find that they have Bill Gates money or Elon Musk money or Jeff Bezos money, they will drop dead in shock. These are people who have, look, point number three, Queen. For African democracy to work, for African democracy to work, we need to realize that the youth right now are the people who have the power.
That's it.
Because we are the most populous people in Africa, and we want change. Now here's the thing: because we are the most populous people.
Let me tell you something. Every nation sees that. The West sees that there's no place in Western nations or East Asian nations that have the population. They say China has a huge population, but not like Africa. 60% of it isn't under 30. China has an old population also. They live long. They live for a long time because they're very healthy people. So listen, every country knows what Africa has. And you cannot develop without youth. I don't care what you say. You have to have a strong youth to develop anything. So these corporations know, the West know, and that's why Africa is always in contention. Because not only the resources that's under the ground, but the youth that walk on the ground is just as valuable as what's under the ground. And so when you have the most resources, when I say minerals and things that we need for life under your ground, oil, gold, whatever it is, bauxite, whatever it is, it's all over Africa. And then you have the youngest population. You are the strongest nation in the entire world. And if you don't leverage that responsibly, then this is what we see: the mayhem, the chaos, and the infiltration of people who've never cared about you. I don't care. The Chinese, the Russian, they all bad. We don't need none of them. But you definitely need relationships outside of yourself in a world economy. I will not negate that. But none of them love you. You got to love yourself first.
You have to love yourself first, and that's what I am suggesting. The youth, let's change the whole political game. I'm so sick and tired of political parties. I'm sick and tired of them. Let's form our African youth voting bloc, an organized voting bloc that has the youth and anyone who's siding with the youth. Then we say this, fine. Now, because we are the majority of the voting population, we have the politicians by the balls. They will have no choice but to appease us. They will have no choice but to listen to what we want them to do. So we tell them, you're vying for presidency. Good, come here. These are the list of things we want you to do in your term, in your first half of the term. We're not going to wait for 5 years, 2.5 years. These are the things we want you to do.
And that's what they do. They make it long, over and over, and keep going.
We put the manifesto in the memorandum of understanding in an MOU. In order for you to get our vote, you must sign this MOU. And in this MOU says that if you don't do all these things we are telling you to do within 2.5 years, you are gone. You are fired. Get the hell out of your seat. We bring in another person who will do the work. This applies to the presidency, to the governor, to the senator, to the MP, to the MCA, to any political African seat in any African country. Let's adopt this. Because political parties push personalities, but voting blocks push ideas. That's all I'm saying. And you know what, Queen? It needs to apply in America also. Black people are being used and abused by these Republicans and Democrats. So you mean to tell me that in order for you to get the black vote and to lure the black vote, You bring in Beyonce, you bring in Megan Thee Stallion, you bring in Glorilla, and a couple of comedians. That's how you get the attention. That's how you get the attention of Black people. That's how you get the attention of Black people. Absolutely. By bringing in comedians and rappers and singers. I'm so sick and tired of Democrats and Republicans doing this. And that's how they think of us. That's how they think of Black people in America. They think that they're so easy. They think that Black people are so easy that all we need to do is to lure them with rappers, singers, and comedians. No, no, no. It ends. The next election, Black people need to form a Black voting bloc, because they can't win. They can't win without the Black vote, especially Democrats.
Republicans too.
Putin,
they can't win without it. None of them.
They can form a Black voting bloc that has all the tens of millions of Black votes. Form a Black voting bloc that has tens of millions of Black votes. Then you tell the Republican nominee or you tell the Democrat nominee, you want my vote? Fine. This is the plan that I want you to do for Black people. That's it. If you don't do this, we will not re-elect you for your second term. That's it. That's it. And that applies to the mayor, that applies to the governor, that applies to the senator, that applies to the councilman, that applies to any elective seat, Black or white, whoever is vying, whoever is asking for the Black vote. Let's form a Black voting bloc that tells them, if you don't do A, B, C, D for Black people, we are not re-electing you for a second term. Game over for you. And you know what? I want everybody to go, oh man, I forgot the video. I know you remember Andrew Yang, the Asian politician who was vying for presidency. I don't know if you remember I don't know if you remember him. There was a presidential candidate called Andrew Yang. He was going to the streets and asking people for votes, right? Sorry?
Where was Andrew Young voting for president?
I've forgotten where he was, but I remember watching the video, and he came across, because he's Asian, he came across some Asian people. You know what the Asians were telling him? You're kind of embarrassing us because you're furthering the stereotypes of Asian people in front of the world. So we need you to stop it. That's what we're telling him. That's what they were telling him. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, man, I wish we were, I wish Black people were like this. I wish we could tell Obama, hey, fine, you talk good, you're a good orator, fine. What plan do you have for Black people? Give us the plan. That's what the Black voting bloc is all about. The voting bloc pushes ideas, but political parties pushes personalities. To hell with political parties. Let's adopt voting blocks.
But let me ask you a question, because I have to. Because you say voting blocks as if they're synonymous to society, but voting blocks are very important. But when it comes to America, voting, and you have no social power, you have no economic power that you're leveraging. Your vote can be fractured, and that's what you see is there's no you have to have a collective power or collective unity to be a block, and that's why I see as the issue is they understand that's why they keep chaos, they keep all of the things in place, and they uplift one, they give you a Jay-Z and a Beyonce, and then everybody wants to be them, which is not real. And so we have listen, I love Beyonce, I love Jay-Z. I'm not talking against my people. What I'm saying is they are tools, and they're being used as tools. And then it makes us think that we can be them and we can do them. And so I think what you're saying makes sense, but the process of application is multi-layered when you don't have any power in your country. You have no power, zero power. You're just here as sitting ducks. How do you become a bloc without that? No power. Just think about it. Youth in Africa have a certain amount of power because of indigenous country. Everybody is of color. We have respect for you as a human. We as Black Americans are not even we're not even treated as humans. And you say now become a bloc and push policy.
Power starts with unity. Power starts with unity. Power starts with unity.
Absolutely unity, but you also, yes, you have to unite. You cannot have power without unity. But the application of that unity has to have something behind it. With these villainous people we live around. We live around malicious folks. So we walking in with just our unity and they're going to kill you. So you got to have some social power. You got to have some militia power. You have to have some economic power because they will get rid of you. They will pick you off.
I agree.
And I agree. When I say to you that it sounds really good, like a voting block. Yes, I think that is ultimately where we should be. But the things that it takes to get to that voting block, first you got to know who you are and believe in who you are. We are busy performing whiteness. When you want to be when you perform whiteness every day, how do you look at your Black self? That's what you understand. The enculturation of Black folks are so far away from who they are, they don't even know who they are. We're performing whiteness every day, all day. Even to work, we have to perform. We have to cower down and infuse ourselves into their culture. So when I say that to you is, I think what you're saying is very valid and makes sense, but the application is so multi-layered. I don't know if that's going to save us as a people. I don't know, because we have a very hard time of applicating what you're saying. Truthfully, in Africa, I think it could work. In America, I think that this voting junk it's a tool in a toolbox, but it cannot liberate you. Cannot. The only way it can liberate you have to have a leader that will listen to you. You don't even think you're human. How could you get liberated by someone who treats you subhuman?
Well, can't liberate, but for the meantime, it can at least improve. That's all I'm saying.
We've been voting for 100 years, and Black folks are still at the bottom of the ladder.
Exactly.
We've been voting. We've been voting over and over. It shows that historically it does not help any group that votes. It helps the wealthy.
America isn't changing anytime soon. You see, so that's what I'm saying. For the meantime, with the current political structures that are in place right now, they all depend on the Black vote, especially Democrats. Yes. Now, because we depend on it, we use it as leverage and say, okay, you need us, fine. This is the plan for Black people. Follow this, or you don't get a second term. That's all I'm saying. That's all.
The leader that they put out there, you put out Kamala Harris or Trump. There's no winning that. I don't care who you put up.
There's no winning. Well, of course, there's no winning, of course, but I'm saying
they're not going to do anything for Black people. Obama, we voted for a Black man who did not for Black people. So then what are we saying? Think about it. We voted for a Black.
No. Of course I know. Of course I know that they don't have a plan and they don't want to do anything for Black people. Of course I know that. But I'm saying, when they see that organization, and when they see that unity, and when they realize that we need them, we need their votes in order for us to remain in power for 2 terms or whatever, let's at least listen to them. That's what Latinos do. That's what all these other communities do. They organize. First of all, they fund. That's number one. They fund these candidates and they organize their votes and say, hey, look, you need to do A, B, C, D for us. There was a Latino woman, a celebrity. She's an actress. I've forgotten what she did, but she basically kind of told Biden almost the same thing that I'm telling you right now, to keep the Latino agenda at the top of his priority list. You see, but when you look at when you look at Black people, we don't approach these politicians with our agendas. We just support them blindly because they're Democrats, mostly. That's all I'm saying.
I hear what you're saying, but I think that you have a very hopeful approach to the malicious systems of America. Like even these Latinos, they're finally seeing. This is the first time they had a mass. They were able to vote en masse as a voting bloc, and they see now what it got them. It got them lies, and they are reeling from that. And so what happens in America is not whoever you vote for, they're not going to they are not going to do anything for you unless it does something for them. And so I hear what you're saying. Yes, we should have an agenda, but we as Black people know that no one cares about our agendas. We're clear about that. Even when we unite, Obama didn't care about our agendas. We united to put him there over and over and over. We united for Democrats. We united for Clinton. We united we can go on for who we united for. And we had bloated blocks. And then they make our leaders. They choose our leaders for us because it all takes money. We're all working and we're all struggling. They keep us in a system where we're fighting and scratching to live. And so in all actuality, they pick your leaders and then your leaders go with this agenda for you.
Well,
and nothing goes down to me and you.
Black people. Well, did Black people approach Obama with a plan and an agenda? Did Black people approach Biden? Did Black people approach Trump? Did Black people approach Bush or Clinton?
Like kids. Men are in jail. We can't feed our kids.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Let me
finish. What you're expecting from a people who have it's just like, let me give you an example. It's just like you set a group of people, set a man down, and you put you beat him up. You've been beating him up and you beat the hell out of him. And then you put your full foot on his neck and say, okay, now tell me what you think I should do. Now give me your agenda. Now do something for yourself. Your full foot is on his neck and he's beat up. He's been beat up for over 300 years. And you put your full foot on, you got every policy that he can't make it. You're killing his children in the streets. You're putting him in jail for the smallest items. All the microaggressions that you go through in society every day with these people. And you say to them, come up with an agenda after that. Brother, I'm here to tell you that it's not going to happen because we're living in the belly of the beast. And what you're coming from, and I understand that it's suffering all over the world, but that will not work for Black people because we're not looking at the entire picture. You're talking about a beat up soul with a foot on their neck, and you said write an agenda for the betterment of everybody. He's just trying to get the foot off his neck. You cannot think about everybody if you're dying. Exactly. You're only going to think of self. That's why we're in the survival mode that we're on. It's going to be what I'm saying to you is this voting thing that we're so focused on. If we don't focus on just, first of all, getting food for ourselves, we need to start, we need to eat correctly. That's first, so our brain can work. So we need to have our own food chains and our own food supply. Then we need to educate our own children. Then we need to pool our own money. Then we need to start communities where we live together and have empathy and around. All of these things have to happen, but they cannot happen with voting. And nobody,
I agree.
Nobody Black is thinking the block because we can't eat, bro. We're
I
not
agree.
eating.
Listen. I agree. I agree. But by the way, I agree. I'm just touching on the political side. But of course, I
I'm
agree.
telling
The
you why
most
we don't
important
have
thing,
it.
number one,
I'm just
just
telling you
like what.
why we don't have these things. Why we don't have agenda is because we're hurt. We are not
So we need.
present to speak to Obama. We are not present to speak to Biden because we can't even feed our children.
I was heading
That's
there, Queen. The foundation is economics, like what Dr. Claude Anderson said. The foundation of everything in this pyramid of us reaching towards the tip of the pyramid, which is power, is number one, economics.
yeah,
That's that's the foundation of this pyramid.
yep. An
Once
opportunity.
once the once the black economics is good, the
Yeah,
politics will be good, the
there
health will
you
be
go.
good, the
There you
education
go.
will be good, the
Yep.
agriculture will be good, everything will be good, but it has to do with economics. I understand. But once we get to the political stage,
Yeah.
I'm just saying that we better that we better unite and come up with a
Yeah.
voting bloc.
Yep.
We better realize that there's power in our numbers, and we better
Yep.
realize that there's power in us uniting, forming a voting bloc, coming up with an agenda, and telling these leaders that you can't lure us with singers and rappers and comedians. No, no, no. Look at our plan, look at our MOU, sign it. If you don't do what we are telling you, you're not going to come here again for another for another 5 years or 4 years. Simple. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm
I agree.
saying.
I
Anyway,
agree with
Queen.
that. But we out of here.
Anyway, Queen. Thank you. Yeah,
Final
yeah.
thought.
Thank you. That's the final thought, Queen. That's the final thought. Number one, Paul Biya, Yoweri Museveni, President Obiang, and all the other old presidents in Africa, it's time for you to go home. Go home. Go retire. Go retire. There's nothing you're doing in that office. Number two, let's form an African youth voting bloc. Number three, the Epstein list is real, and powerful people don't want to be in that list. Oh, sorry, they don't want the list to be exposed, and that's how white people protect. That's how these rich white people protect themselves. That's all I'm saying.
Yep. Yep. Oh, and I concur. All of that's true. All of that's true. In America, there are many lists, and there is an Epstein list. I promise you this one. I don't know if it'll ever come out because the people who control the list control the country. And so we see that now they're trying to push it away so none of us can see it. But one thing I always know about the truth, you can hold it down, you can smash it down, but it finds its way. And at some point, it will find its way to come out one way or the other. So, and this also, we never talk about the spiritual component. And I want to end with that. We never talk about that there is a spiritual being that's made all of us. But the ancestors, the power in our ancestors, we negate. And particularly what they can do and what they're doing for us on a daily basis. So we do have ancestors who are working for our good. We also have people who are on the ground like you, like me, and like other people that we know who are working for Black people. So listen, we're going to be all right. But we got to know we're going to be all right. We got to know who we are. We got to be who we are, and we got to be it together. And when we do that and we think that way, then we're unstoppable. We're the most people in the world. We're the brightest people in the world. We are the standard and the creators of the world. And not only the creators in the world, we created the world. Come on. I mean, the Eve gene, baby. Black people are special. And everyone knows but us. And until we understand that and come together and look at what we are together than what we are apart, and stop worrying about where we all fell off or where they all took us. So they took us all over the world, and we claim Brazil, and we claim South America, and we claim Dominica, and we claim all these places. But it's not where you were dropped off. It's where you came from. And when we recognize where we came from and work towards the betterment of that and our people, we'll be okay. Voting will be okay. Agriculture, like you said, will be okay. But it starts with us being okay with each other. And that's what I'm always going to say is it's about us. And when we understand us and love us and be us and do us, the world responds. Whatever we create, everybody comes to take. It is what it is. And so on that, I say, listen, we're gonna be all right. And you're right, some of these leaders got to go, including Donald Trump. He got to go. And it's a lot of them around the world that got to go, but he got to go. And so this, like I said, Diaspora, we're going to do this every Monday and Friday, guys. I need you guys to pull up. It's not just about me and Arena. It's about you and all of us. And we need to have a conversation that is indicative of many voices. Arena is powerful. I will never negate that. But it can be some other folks who can give him a run for his money. That's what we need. We need some debate in here. We need some other opinions in here, other than me and his, because the diaspora is huge. You know, my brother, the diaspora is huge. We've not even touched the surface of the diaspora. So I implore everyone who hears a piece of this, if you see our reels, share. Like, share, subscribe. Sell Africa to Africans. Like, share, subscribe. BlaKBoxXRadio. We are working daily for African people, for Black people. Pull up, talk to us, come through, email, hit us up, DM, whatever it takes. Because it's not about us, it's about all of us. So I'm going to say that. It's about togetherness. Take us out, bro. I'm done. Peace to the people.
Peace, guys. I'll always end by saying that Africa is your home, whether you like it or not. I don't care whether you listen to these weird ass people who tell you that you're Native American or you're an alien or no. You are an African. You're an African. Yes. Even though some of your ancestors were not, even though some of your ancestors came to America before slavery, which is very true, they also came from Africa. So I don't want to hear that lame ass. Listen, I don't want to hear that lame ass excuse. I don't want to hear that lame ass excuse. You're an African, whether you like it or not. Form a connection with the motherland. If you can't form a connection with the motherland physically, form a connection with the motherland, even socially. Just have some, just have some friends here. It will take you a long way. Yeah. Or even better, if you can form a connection with the motherland economically, invest in Africa. Because let me tell you, you're not safe in America. You're not safe in Europe. You don't know when Iran will drop that bomb. You don't know when Russia will go crazy, or North Korea, or you have where you guys are, you have so much enemies to a point whereby anything can happen at any time and you will be screwed.
Yep.
This is where you're safe. This is where you're safe. Africa is where you're safe. Come home. And if you have, and if you can, go to my Instagram, go to the link in my Instagram bio, click to that company called Traverse Culture. I'm an ambassador there. They take care of travels, relocation, business investment here in Kenya. So if you're an African American and you want to invest or travel or relocate to Kenya, click the link in my bio, get in contact with the Traverse Culture team and they'll take care of you. You forget about America. America is gone. America is gone. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace. All right, guys. We see you guys on Friday. Power. You know how we do it here. Ain't no peace.
No.
We are
No.
That's my brother. Right?
Yeah.
It's power. All power, baby. All right, we gone, guys. Good night. Outro won't play, bro. I'm just in the stream. All right, guys. Good night.